Okay, Shvuatov, today's daf is daf lamed aleph. We're holding on the bottom of daf lamed amud beis, and we're in the middle of discussion of how one is supposed to pray, and we had talked about the seriousness that one must have at all times, and especially during davening. Okay, so we're on the bottom line, and we said Mar Brei Ravina, Mar the son of Ravina, Avad Halul Lebrei. He made a wedding for his son. Chazin l'Rabbanan to have a kabad chituva. He noticed the Rabbanan were at the wedding. They were being a bit too jovial, a bit too maybe not having the correct seriousness that they should have. And in Isaac Casa Demokri he took a very precious glass vase or cup, Pas Ara Meazuzi, the worth of 400 zuz, V'tavar Kamai, he broke it before them by Itzivu, and they sobered up. Rav Ashi Avad Halul, Rav Ashi made a wedding for his son. Chazin l'Rabbanan Davikabar Chituva, so that they, again, were a bit too over the top. I see concept is he took a glass of a glass a white glass made out of a white glass, a sort of cup or some vase made out of white glass. And he broke it in front of them. When they sobered up. Tosis points out that this is the minig that we break a glass at the wedding. Okay, so it seems to not have anything to do with the destruction of the temple, as most people think it does. According to Tosfos here, it actually has to do with this concept of people gain from being in more of a serious mood than too lightheaded. Okay, so the Gemara continues. So he said at the wedding of Mar Ravina, he broke this glass, and the Rabbanan turned to Rav Hamnuna there, and they told him, Lishri Lan Mar, sing us a song. Amalahu, he sang to them, Vailan Demisnan, well, we're going to die, well, we're going to die. And Amalei, they told back, they said back, and man, anan us, man nani basrecha. What should we say? What's the chorus? Amalei, he told them, hey, Torah, hey, mitzvahs, Megana, you say, where's the Torah and where's the mitzvahs that's going to protect us? Okay, again, obviously, what's the concept of what death has to do here at the wedding? A wedding is a joyous thing. Some of the commentaries explain that a wedding is really our ability, the start of one building a Bayis Yisrael, one building a house, and the purpose of a wedding is really procreation, being able to really further myself, right? The concept of mortality is very depressing, the fact that we're all going to die, but having children gives us ability to be somewhat immortal. So he said that the wedding seems like the right place is to rejoice at the fact that we're going to die and we're going to have children who are going to carry on our legacy. And what is our legacy? The Torah and mitzvahs that we do in this world. Okay. It's forbidden to one to have his mouth filled with laughter in this world. Some say that this is the side-splitting laughter, uncontrollable laughter. Then our mouths will be filled with laughter and our tongues with rina, joyous songs. Amasai, when is that? And the rest of the pasuk is man sheyomer by goyim higdil Hashem lasas amela. The time when the goyim gather around and say, "Wow, Hashem has done great things." In the future, when Mashiach comes and Olam Haba, so this is that is when we're going to have full rejoicing. And Amar Lava Rish Lakish, they say in Rish Lakish, he never filled his mouth with laughter in this world. He maintained a certain seriousness. Again, all the commentaries have many discussion over here about whether this has to do with the Beis Hamikdash or this is an entirely different concept of one must have a certain seriousness. Okay, in any event, the Gemara continues. Tanur Rabbanan. One does not stand up to daven. Din, not right after he's finished in the middle of a court case. In the middle of a complicated sugi of halacha. Halacha psuka, a finished, concise halacha where he's not going to delve into it and not have proper concentration while he's davening. So the Gemara says, "Vehechidami halacha psuka." What is in fact considered halacha psuka? We just finished Nida, and in Nida, at the end of the day, after all the halachas, comes out that the daughters of the Jewish people, they were machimir on themselves, they were stringent on themselves, even if they saw like the mustard seed, they'd wait 7 days. Okay, so this is a completed halacha. Rav Amar Rav Hoshaya, Rav Hoshaya, Me'ara Madam al Tfuasai, Umachnisa b'moit Shalah. We know the concept of meiser. The chi of meiser is once the grain is winnowed and the cover is taken off of the grain, so this guy would make he would sort of do a trickery, and he would take his tefua in with the moitshala, right, and therefore his behemoth could eat it in pater from meiser, because it's not considered achilas keva, it's considered achilas arai. Okay, and it wasn't roya pnei habayis because it had still on the moitshala. He kept the shell on it. V'bayzema, a third concept of halacha, kid Rav Huna, Rav Huna, Amar Zeira, Hamek is dam behema kachim, one who lets blood in a behema of kachim, a holy animal. Asr b'hana is asr b'hana, malam by, and he's still considered to be mi'ila, right, to be desecrating the kachim. So again, the commentaries explain what the three way machlekes is, and understanding the different kinds of halachas are considered halacha psuka, especially this last one, which we know that the dam, there's a differentiation between the dam after it's when it's still alive and after it's alive. In reference to its me'ila, okay? But the Gemara finishes Rabbanan Avdik Masnis, and the Rabbanan did like our Mishnah, which means Ein Oidin L'Spala Mitech Kovid Reish. One should have a certain seriousness. If he doesn't need this halacha psuka, and Rav Ashi Avdik Kabrayson, he did in fact learn halacha psuka prior to davening. Tana Rabbanan, we learned Ein Oidin L'Spala. One is not allowed to get up to daven. Lo Mitech Atzvus, not in a feeling of depression. V'lo Mitech Atzlas, laziness, dragging his feet. V'lo Mitech Schaik, and not lightheaded laughter. And not just shooting the breeze conversation. Kalas lightheadedness, and wasteful things. Mitzvah, in a certain state of rejoicing, the fact that he's about to do a mitzvah. And also similarly, again, this is talking about the emotive state, the emotional state. Before we're talking more about the state of mind, that one shouldn't go into tefillah because of kavanah. This is really about emotional state. Okay, a person shouldn't leave his friend. Not just lightheaded talk. And laughter. Wasteful things. And the Gra changes it over here to be similar to like we just said before. And also to simcha shel mitzvah, that you should, and we'll see in a minute, you should say some sort of halacha to your friend as you're parting from each other, so that way you'll remember him. We found the earlier prophets. They completed the end of their words with some sort of praise or beseeching Hashem in prayer. A person shouldn't leave his friend, because that way you'll remember him. How do we know? He was accompanied with Rav Simi from the Pum Nahara. This place Nisa de Bavel. He came out to Hasam, and they reached there, and they were parting ways. Amarle Mar, he told them, Amarle Mar, is it true that people said Nisa de Bavel, these date trees, these palm trees of Bavel, they're from Adam Rishon until now. Amarle, he told them, you reminded me something that Rav Yisroch told me. Rav Yisroch what does the pasuk say about Eretz Asher le'avar ba'ish v'lo yashav adam? The pasuk says that there's the land that no man passed through and no man inhabited. And he says it's obviously if no one ever passed through, then how would he be able to inhabit that land? The Chiddush is that Kol Eretz Shegazal Adam Rishon Yeshiv Nisyashva, any land that Adam Rishon made a decree that will be inhabited, will ultimately be inhabited. V'Kol Eretz Shegazal Adam Rishon Yeshiv Nisyashva was not inhabited. Okay, Rav Mordechai Alu Rav Simi Barashi Mehargronia Bad Bekipi. Okay, from Hargronia Bad Bekipi Amrla Ad Beitura, and commentaries explain that he just accompanied him. He didn't say the halacha. So you see, it's a nice thing that you'll remember him. You don't in fact have to say the halacha, and that's the halacha. So we see from here that he didn't tell him any halacha as they were parting from each other. One who prays he has to have in mind kavanah towards heaven. Similar davar, the pasuk says, "Tachin libam tachshiv aznecha." Right? Get your heart ready. Tachin libam tachshiv aznecha. Let your ears hear. Tanya Mervuda, Kachayim and Hagash Rekiva. The customer of Rekiva was Kashahim Espal Matzibor when he prayed with the congregation. He didn't want there to be a tircha to tzibur. He wanted wait, so therefore he would daven as fast as possible. When he davened by himself, he would find him beginning to pray in one corner, and at the end of the prayer, find him in a completely different corner. The Gemara says, and why would that be? His bows and his bowing down and his bending over in the middle of davening were so elaborate that he would actually move all over the room. Obviously, this is we're going to learn halachas now from Daniel. We'll see in a moment that he had a certain setup when he came to his prayer. So we learn that's how prayer should be. This is talking about the physical surroundings. Okay, in a house that has windows. There was openings. There was windows. You might think the person should daven all day. Daniel said that 3 times a day he would daven. You might think that's only when he came to Gaila, but before that he didn't. The pasuk says, that I did prior to reaching here. Okay, you might think to any direction. The pasuk says neged Yerushalayim, in the direction opposite Jerusalem. You might think he can do all 3 tefillas at once, knock them out in one time. It has to specifically be the evening, the morning, and the afternoon. Okay, that you should say it out loud. Okay, we learn from Chana, as we'll see in a moment. Chana is a major source of the understandings, different aspects of tefillah. And her voice was not heard, so therefore you shouldn't say it out loud. So therefore you might think the person should ask his needs and then daven. Rina zuvutfila and tefila zubakasha. So Rina means the praising Hashem, therefore we actually expand about Hashem's greatness, and then we ask for our own needs. And the Gemara says, one does not say anything after after Shema over there, but aval achar hatfila, after the tefillah like we had earlier, afilu kaseder v'yilush l'mekippur. You could say even in the length of seder v'yilush l'mekippur, as long as he wants to continue and daven. Okay, even though we said that one should ideally ask for all of his needs in the middle of the Brachos Shemei Tefillah, but they're supposed to be short. When one comes to the end of his Tefillah, it's your own personal time, and you can elaborate as much as one would want on the Tefillah. Okay, we're 4 lines from the bottom of Daf Lamed Aleph. Amar Rav Hamnuna, Kama Hilchos Lekavorta Ikal Amash Mahani Kroy Dechan. How many great halachas are there to learn from these psukim of Chana? Story of Chana, who didn't have any children. Her co-wife, they were married to Elkanah. Penina had 7 sons, 7 children, and Penina used to give her a hard time, in order that she should daven. And Chana went to the Beis Hamikdash to daven for a child. Okay, and we learned. The pasuk says, Chana spoke on her heart. So he learned, he has to be on his heart. You have to take notice and pay attention to the words you're saying. And the pasuk says, only her lips were moving. That one has to articulate with his lips the words that he's saying. And then it says, but her voice was not heard. But still, from here we learn that one's not allowed to, forbidden from raising his voice in tefillah. And then the pasuk says, Eli was the Kohen Gadol, saw her, and he thought that she was drunk. From here we learn that one who's drunk is forbidden to daven. And so what did Eli tell her? Until when are you going to be drunk? It's forbidden to be drunk and to daven. Amar Rav Elazar, from here we see one who sees in his friend davar she'eino hagan, something that's not proper. You're supposed to tell him. You're supposed to give him musar. Okay? Chana said, no, my master. You're not the master in this matter. You don't know what you're talking about. Not only that, you don't have the divine spirit on you, because you're choshed me and you're not judging me favorably. This is what she told him. You're not my master. You don't have the divine presence on you. Because nature, if you had the spiritual divine presence on you as the Kohen Gadol at this time, you would have judged me favorably. Don't you not know the Isha Kashas Ruach? You don't know that I'm a broken spirited woman. And wine and beer I did not drink, and I'm just davening in this depressed manner because I'm so depressed. So we see that he didn't judge her favorably. But we learn from here that one who is judged must tell the judger that you, in fact, didn't judge me favorably. And she said to him, don't put your maidservant before the daughters of Belial. What does that mean? One who, she said, don't put me before the Bas Belial, which is a reference to Avodah Zarah, to idol worshipping, and because he was thinking that she was, in fact, drunk during the davening. So from here we learn that l'shikr shemispal, one who's drunk who davens, is ki'ilu oived Avodah Zarah, as if he served idols. Ksiv hach, the pasuk says lefnei Bas Belial. Ksiv hasam yitzu anashim b'nei Belial mibekirbecha. Get these men of Belial. Belial is without an oak. Belial. Okay, these are idol worshippers from your midst. They're doing idol worship. Afkan avodah zarah. Okay, and the Gemara continues. Eli said, I didn't judge you favorably. You're right. L'chila shalom, go to peace. One who judges someone not favorably before getting all his facts straight, and it wasn't true. You have to ask them for forgiveness. You have to give him a blessing. The God of Israel should give you what you asked for. Okay? And now, in her prayer, she davened. She made an oath, and she said, God of legions. From the day that God created the world, there was no one who called God the legion, the master of legions, of hosts. Okay? She called him tzvakos. Okay? Chana said to Hashem, Master of the universe, all the galaxies that you created in your universe, you can't give me one son? Manner comparable to the Melech Basar V'Dam, a king of flesh and blood. Sha'asa Sudla Avadav, he made a meal, a party for his servants. Ba'an Yechad, one poor guy came. V'avan al Pesach, he's standing by the door, and Amar Lahem, he tells the people, the servants, give me one little piece of bread, one little roll. They don't pay attention to him. So he goes into the king, and Mikol Sudish Asita, from this entire meal that you made, you can't give me one slice of bread. So that's what she was saying. And we learn from here a fascinating concept that when one davens, they should consider Hashem as the master of the universe. And literally, the master of the universe is our Father in heaven, and he makes the money. He can give us anything that he wants, anything that's good for us. So if we think it's good for us, we should be shocked if he doesn't give it to us. We should say, wait, you can't give me one kid. You have the entire universe that you created. Okay, first word in the line, 4 lines from the Wide Lines. So she said, Imra Tira, you will see. What's the double language of seeing? So Amr Elazar, very creative, very interesting. Amr Chana l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, said Chana for Hashem. Rebbeinu Shalom, ask the universe. Imra, if you see my pain and you give me a kid, mutav, great. V'imlav, if not, tira, I will make you see. What does that mean? Elich, I will go, and I'll lock myself up with another man in front of Elkanah. Once I lock myself up, I become a din of a sota, and the din with a sota is that mashkali me sota, they give you the water of the sota to drink in the Beis Hamikdash, and we know that if she is guilty, then her thigh blows up and she dies. And if she's not guilty, the Torah blesses her that God blessed her that she will have children. Okay, so if you add to Torah's plaster, you're not going to make your Torah a falsehood. Shenemar, the pasuk says, and you'll have children. So the Gemara says that makes sense. That if a woman was barren, nifkedes, she will now have children. So Sha'apir, that's correct that Chana did that. Chana said, Tira, I'm going to show you. If you don't give me a kid, I'm going to lock myself up. They're going to have to give me the mesota. I'm not going to be guilty. I'm not going to commit the sin, and therefore I'm going to have children. So it makes sense according to the one who says that you'll have children. According to the opinion that says Yoled is Bitzar. It doesn't mean you'll have children. It means if a woman gave birth in pain, Yoled is Berevach, she'll have an easy childbirth. If she gave birth to Nekevas, to girls, Yoled is Zacharim, she'll have boys. Shecharim, if she gave birth to black children, Yoled is Levanim, she'll have light, fair-skinned children. Ketzarim, if she has short children, Yoled is Haruchim, she'll have long, tall kids. So according to that opinion, what was she saying? So Tanya, what's the Brisa? The Brisa says, "V'niknas av nizar zera." Melamed shemais akar nifkedes divrei Rishmol. Rishmol says that if a sota who was, or to be possible sota who drinks the water of the sota, and she was not found guilty, she gets a blessing that she gets a child. And Amalin Rikiva says, in Kain Yelchul Kol Akares Kulan, all the barren women like Chana will go, Viastasru, they'll lock themselves up, Vazush like Kilkala, the Adel Madel, the Adel nice girl, doesn't have any kids, she didn't do such a wild thing. Nifkeda, she's going to remain barren? That can't be. El Malavichem Haitse, let us B'tzari, let us Berevach. If it was painful, now be pleasant. Katsarmi, let us Aruchim, she'll have tall kids. Shchomi, let us Levanim, will have fair skinned children. Echad, let us Shnaim, she'll have two. So Mayim Roter, according to that opinion, says the Gemara, Roter just means, I hope you see my pain. It's just a language, the way the people speak. Okay? So we come out in the Maskana of this Gemara, it seems that there's a machlekes about whether it's proper to demand of Hashem in such a chutzpah way, the way of the Levi Yitzchak Barditchev said about he would demand from Hashem, how could you do this, to the Jewish people? Okay? Another style of praying. The Gemara continues in the Psukim of Chana. It says 3 times in the parsha over there, my maidservant. Okay, she called herself maidservant 3 times. Amar Rav Yosef bar Chanina, Gimel Amasas Halalu. What are these 3 references to maidservant for? Amra Chana Lifnei Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Chana was saying before the Holy One, blessed He, for Hashem. Rabbanan Shalom, Master of the universe. Shloisha Bidkei Misa Barasa Bisha. There's 3 ways of dying, 3 ways of checking death in a woman. Meaning, we'll say 3 things that cause death in a woman. Some say 3 things that stick death to them, meaning that one who transgresses them, and women who transgress them will get misa. And these are them: nida, chala, halakas ner, the halachas of the menstrual cycle, and that a woman has to keep a certain purity. Chala, that she separates the chala. Halakas ner, lighting the candles. And she said, "Klum avarti lachas, man, did I not do any of them?" She goes, I was your maidservant. I did all 3 of them." So therefore, that was a reference to the 3 times Amasecha. Therefore, you should give me children. It's interesting to note the nida, chala, and halakas ner. The first word of each, chala is chet, hadlakat ner, lighting the candles is hey, and nida is nun, which spells chana. Okay, which is an acronym for very name. And the Gemara continues, give your maidservant seed of sons, of men. Okay, so what does that mean? Sort of an esoteric reference to people. You should give me children, my zera anashim, seed of man. Rav says, Gavra beguvrin. She said she prayed for a man amongst men. Very special boy. Shmuel says Zera Moshe Shnei Anashim, a son or descendant who will anoint 2 people. Who is that? Ma'inun, Shaul v'David. Right? We know that Shmuel Hanavi was the one who anointed Shaul and David. Rav Yochanan Amar Zera Sheshakul Kshnei Anashim. She wanted a Zera Anashim, a Zera seed, a child that would be equal to Anashim, to 2 men. Who is that? Ma'inun. Who are they? Moshe v'Aaron. Shneimar Moshe v'Aaron b'Chayanav. The pasuk, famous pasuk. Moshe v'Aaron b'Chayanav. V'Shmuel b'Karei Shemai Shmuel, and he calls out his name. So we see that Shmuel is equal to Moshe and Aaron. Rabbanan say Zera Anashim, Zera Shemavil Anashim. That's the opposite. She prayed for seed for a child who will be swallowed up amongst the men, meaning an average guy. She prayed for an average guy, that it's not a big blessing to have an extra genius or a super anything. She wanted a normal son. Guess Rav Dimi said, not too long, v'leigos, not too short, v'leikatan, not too thin, v'leilim, and not too v'leilim, and not deaf, v'leitzachar, v'leigicher, v'leichacham, v'leitipesh. All these are references to different abnormalities. Not too smart, not too stupid, not too red, not too white. Right? All she wanted, a normal, standard child. That's what she prayed for. And we see Shmuel, the greatness that Shmuel reached. He died at 52, and the levels that he was able to reach in his short and average mind. Okay? So the Gemara continues. She said to Eli, I am the woman who stood with you for this one. She pointed to Shmuel. Okay? So why is imcha spelled, imcha is with you, it should be with a chaf sofit at the end. What is the chaf hey? That she said that she stood with me, meaning you stood, but it was outside of 4 amas. How do we see that? Because the extra hey at the end. The hey is 5, is a symbol for 5, which is just after 4. Okay? And that's what Tosas brings down over here. Very interesting. She says, for this boy I prayed. Now what's very interesting psukim over there, Amar Elazar, and then Elazar is going to explain what these psukim are talking about. Shmuel Meir halacha l'fnei Rabbi. Shmuel was a young child, and he said halacha. He gave a psak halacha, definitive halacha in front of his rebbe, and he was chayiv misa, because that's the halacha. If one who gives a halacha, one tells a halacha psuka in front of his rebbe, he's chayiv misa. So the Gemara says, Shnamar, how do we know this? Vayishchat the verse says that they shechted the par, they shechted the par, Vayaviu es hanar el Eli, and they brought the lad to Eli. So the Gemara asks, Mishum de v'yishchut was a par, they shechted a par of you nar el Eli. What does that have to do with anything? So obviously there's more of the story. Ella Amar Lahem Eli. Eli told the Kahanim in the Beis Hamikdash, Kiru Kayin Lesi v'lishchat. Find a Kayin who could come and do shchita over here. Shmuel noticed to have a mahadri basar kain lemishchat, that they were looking all over the place for a kain to do the shechita. Okay, and Amar Lahu, he told them, Lamale, what do you need it? What do you need a kain for? Miksiv, did the pasuk say, V'shachat hakayin, did the kain shechted, did the slaughtering? V'krivoy hakahanim, because the pasuk says that the kahanim offered. From here we learn, okay, mikabala v'elech mitzvahs kahuna. Okay, that mikan l'shchita shekshir b'zar. We know that now this is the halacha that shchita is kosher with a non-kohen, right? A non-priest in the Beis Hamikdash. A priest doesn't have to be the one who does the slaughtering, and it's just from the Kabbalah and from the accepting of the blood and hakrava and elef. That's where the kohen has to be present. So he said, "What are you guys running after a kohen for?" Okay, Amrlay. So Eli was there, and he said, "Meimer Amrlay." They told him, Amrlay. He told them, "Meimer Shaper Kab." Right? I'm sorry, Amrlay Minam Minalach. How do you know? So I'm sorry, it's new. Look, Eli. They brought him before Eli. Amrlay Minalach. How do you know this halacha? Amrlay. He told them, "Miksiv b'shachat hakayin be'krivo hakayin miksiv be'kabal ve'elef." And accepting the blood and on is the mitzvah's kahuna. The priest has to do it. Mekan l'shchituk shir b'zar. So Amrlay. He told them, "Meimer Shaper Kab." You said a true statement. This is a true halacha. Miu, though, halacha b'fnei Rabcha. You're one who said halacha in front of his rebbe, which is chayiv misa. Halacha b'fnei Rabbi chayiv misa. So Asya Chana heard this, and she came because Tzafcha Kamesh. She started screaming, "I'm the one who stood there and prayed for this one." So So Eli told her, "Shavkili, leave me alone. I'll punish him. I'll pray. I'll get one even better than him. Don't worry, he's not so smart. I'll get one even better than him for you." She said, "No, I want this particular son." Okay, and then the Gemara continues. She's talking in her heart. We wrote the pasuk before. What was she davening about? Al iske liba, the manners of her heart. Amr Lefanov, she said before him, Rabbanu Shalom asked in the universe, Kol Masha Barasa, everything that you created be Isha, and a woman like Barasa Davar Echad Levatala. Nothing is for naught. Everything has a reason. Inayim Liris, you made eyes to see. Vaznayim Lishmai, ears to hear. Choitim Lareach, a nose to smell. Peh Ledaber, mouth to speak. Yadayim Lahas Ben Malacha, and hands to work. Raglayim Lahalach Ben, and feet to walk. What's the point of Dadim? What's the point of breasts? Lahenik, to breastfeed. Lahenik Ben. So Dadim Halal, these breasts, Shenasat Ali, that you put on my heart. Lam, what are they for? Loy Lahanik Ben, aren't they not to nurse? Tenli Ben, give me a son. Vahanik Ben, and I will nurse them with them. Okay? From Zimra, whoever sits on a fast day during the Shabbos, it's so effective, it's so strong and fast that they rip up a decree that was made about him for 70 years. Vapal says the Gemara, even though that it's so powerful, you're still going to get punished for Onik Shabbos, enjoyment of Shabbos. It's forbidden to fast on Shabbos. So the Gemara asks, my takante, what's the fixing? What can he do? So the Gemara answers, let him sit a fast for his fast, which essentially means let him fast another day during the week as a repentance for the fact that he fasted on Shabbos. The Gemara finishes off. Chana threw words klape mala, means she used a little bit of chutzpah. She threw words towards Shemayim. Shenema, the pasuk says, "V'tispal el Hashem." She davened on Hashem. Lam sheticha dvarim klape mala to Hashem. So really, she davened el Hashem to Hashem. It's with an ayim. It's alt on Hashem. Very tough language. Okay. From Elazar Eliyahu tiach dvarim klape mala. Gamliel also used very tough language when davening. He said, "What? You're blaming them? Blaming Klal Yisrael? It's you who turned their hearts up against them." Okay, backwards. How do we know that Hashem admitted to Leo that it was his fault? The pasuk says, that I caused bad, meaning that I caused them to do evil. So we see from here, the Gemara is going to continue and go on, but we see really we've learned many different concepts and aspects in understanding the fundamentals of tefillah from Chana, from the tefillah's Chana. And we're going to get into further different points from Moshe into really understanding the fundamentals and how one should view prayer. Okay, so we'll take it from here tomorrow.